Hello Arlington, my name is Sydney Britt and I welcome you to Sydney's Media Moment. Today I want to talk about a great love of mine, something that's been with me for years, through thick and thin. I want to talk about Netflix. Now, I have a lot to say, so I'm going to break it down into 3 categories. The great UI, the awesome features, and the incredible original content. I'm going to start with what we really take for granted, and that's how user-friendly Netflix is. Now, Netflix is really the first online streaming service out there, so they've had a long time to polish their user interface, but it's still worth recognizing that no other streaming service compares in terms of UI. Now, one of the greatest aspects I want to mention is timeline scrubbing. Now, HBO has no timeline scrubbing, and Hulu has really laggy timeline scrubbing, so Netflix's is really the best. You just drag your cursor along the timeline and see everything, so you know exactly where you're going to land. Next up, I want to mention the way that you can surf through a series while you stay on the episode that you're currently watching. When I'm watching a show on Netflix, I can just go to the little icon that looks like pieces of paper, and I can see all the previous and future episodes, and I can see different seasons. Finally, when browsing, you can just drag your mouse over a title and it tells you everything. You see the percentage that it matches with you according to what you've previously watched. You see the time of this title you're looking at. You see the number of seasons. You see the genre and certain tags that go with it. And the rating. You see everything, so you know exactly what you're getting. It's for sure the smoothest browsing experience out there. Next, I want to mention some great features. First and foremost, I want to applaud Netflix for letting me change the language of the subtitles or audio while staying on what I'm currently watching. As someone who watches a lot of foreign content, it's super useful, especially in anime. Like on HBO Max, when you change the language, the episode starts over again. And on Hulu, you actually have to go to a different episode, as in you have to go to either the subbed episode or the dubbed over episode. On Netflix, it's all right there. While you're on the episode, you can change the language or subtitles. And I think it's worth mentioning, Netflix probably has the most languages out there in both subtitles and audio. In addition, Netflix has a lot of great, unique genres that you can search and moods that you can look up. This includes Black stories, LGBTQ stories, cult, which is a genre of cult films. And you can also search tags like upbeat, ominous, chilling, so you can find exactly what you're in the mood for. Finally, I want to discuss the amount of great original content that Netflix produces. Now, I'm not saying it's the best in terms of original content. I think that HBO holds that title, but Netflix is definitely a contender. Netflix was really the first streaming service out there because HBO used to be a channel, so I'm ignoring that, to produce original content. Netflix is the first online streaming service to have films at the Oscars, including The Irishman and Roma, which won Best Picture. Plus, Netflix always releases at least one thing each year that everyone says you need to watch. This year, it was Tiger King. And Netflix is the only major streaming service producing quality anime, including 7 Deadly Sins, a favorite of mine, which came out in 2014, and Devilman Crybaby, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. Plus, Netflix was the first streaming service to produce reality TV, most prominently Queer Eye, which is such a great show. Me and my family love watching it together, and there's not a lot of things that we all agree are good. So, recommend it. Plus, Anthony is wonderful to look at.
For too long, tomatoes have been misunderstood.
And I want to say that Netflix has pulled from really good source material to create content, including the animated show Castlevania, which is based on the famous video game of the same name, and Ratchet, which is of course based on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is of course based on Ken Kesey's book of the same name. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, Netflix bought and now produces The Great British Bake Off, the best show ever. It's just perfect for that wholesome feeling you need and the Paul Hollywood you need. And it looks delicious. If you don't have Netflix yet, I really recommend you get it, especially during this pandemic. It's a great service to gather all your loved ones around the TV so you can enjoy quality content together. And that's all for this week. Thanks for watching.